Are you exhausted, exasperated, spun out, confused, and overwhelmed with strategies, gurus, teachers, possibilities, and business models in building your coaching business? Well, I have too. God, I've spent $40,000 on teachers who were not the best fit for me, for trainings that were not aligned with my heart, my intuition. And, nobody was actually able to give me a clear, simple, elegant, step-by-step path from starting a coaching business to having 10K months, to having strangers turn into leads on autopilot, and then having them buy without me being around. Listen up. I am Louis Brantmeyer, a coach that serves heart-centered coaches to scale and stabilize at 6 figures in income. And as a trained Wealth Dynamics flow consultant, I have spent years building, testing, experimenting, and developing the path, the very specific step-by-step path that you're about to receive. So buckle up, hang out with me for the next 10 to 20 minutes. We're going to have a blast because this is the path to yellow level in your coaching business. Now, you might be wondering, what is this behind you, Louis? We're going to go through this very quickly so that you have the foundation, the bedrock, and the background for what you want to create easily and effortlessly accessible so that you know the overall journey in terms of skills and mastery. So first of all, we're infinitely supplied. We're infinitely abundant and prosperous as soul. But not all of us have realized or, achieved or integrated our money magic alignment. What is money magic alignment? When you're aligned with the truth of who you are and what is, you will receive dollops of massive, unexpected income, abundance, channels opening up. As one coach of ours who went through our money magic alignment course says, when you're tuned up, you know where to tune in. And once you tune in, massive abundance will flow to you. In his case, this was our coach, Elaine. He went from 5 to 10K months to his first $42,000 month in cash collected. If he can, so can you. Get your money magic aligned. Now, the problem is when you sit back and rely fully on manifestation and magic to create income and revenue in your business. Guess what? You could do that and just lean back and get lazy and fall into apathy and then have to scramble and work to manifest again. I did this in the beginning of my coaching career. So that's why there are 5 dimensions and not just one, right? Because you need to be tuned up and tuned in, but that's not enough to build a business. We're here on Earth School to play with Earth rules and Earth tools. Otherwise, we'll be Earth fools. We're here in bodies for a reason. We're here to play with them and enjoy expressing through them and with them. So what you need is what they didn't give you at the beginning of your journey as an entrepreneur, which is a map and a compass for where to go and what to do based on you, on your genius, on your path of least resistance into wealth. That is Wealth Dynamics, the map and the compass based on vast quantities of entrepreneurs observed in their mastery. I'm talking people as dispersed as and as different as Oprah and Elon Musk and Ray Kroc and Mark Zuckerberg, Andrew Carnegie, the greats, the ones who've achieved making massive difference for people in this world. So what we do in Wealth Dynamics is we figure out who you are and where you are. You can be all dressed up and ready to go, but have nowhere to go and nowhere to show up if you're just manifesting abundance. You see, abundance flows to us, sure, but in order for us to have it consistently flow to us, easily and effortlessly, regularly over time, what we require is to build a channel. Even your intuition needs a channel to flow through. If you have a river flowing to you, but you don't have riverbanks to contain it, you don't have a river, you got a mess, and you don't have a consistent flow. So we get to build a storm drain. Wealth Dynamics, if money magic alignment is leaning deeply into allowing, receiving, leaning back, then Wealth Dynamics is leaning in and engaging fully with life and creating and the joy of being in your flow, meeting the world in service of producing and adding massive value. You see, money is a reflection of how much value you've added to other people, and success is structural. So at the same time, that feeling is the secret, and you will have to shift your focus, your feeling, and your identity in order to achieve and receive massive wealth and abundance. You can also create the structure. Success is structural. So there are people who don't give a shit about their energy, who don't have the right beliefs, who have simply built structures like a storm drain. The storm drain captures the abundance that's flowing from rain and rainstorms and thunderclouds to a specific spot. We want that for you, which is why we need both the structures that will make you successful and the mindset that will make you magnetic. So what happens if you have both, but you don't have the skills, techniques, tactics that are needed to elegantly express that to the marketplace? Again, you'll be all dressed up with no place to go. So what we need is marketing and messaging mastery. How does that work? Well, the best marketing makes sales easy, unnecessary, or superfluous. The best marketing enters the mind of your ideal client, listens to the conversation that's happening there, and discovers, distinguishes, and develops a desire in them for more of your product, service, or opportunity. So if you're not doing that, if you're not speaking in such a way that your ideal customer can hear you and see you as the only and best solution to their urgent, specific, painful problem, then you're going to get lost in the noise of 70,000 other coaches who are just as trained as you are, who have big hearts, and who are thinking, oh, all I need to do is show that I've got my shingle out and rattling, like shaking my flag, and people will come to me. No, they will not. Especially in 2024, when the marketplace has gotten more selective and more elite in who and how it chooses, and how deep your intimacy must go before you can easily, effortlessly sell someone on something that is even low ticket, right? Not to mention high ticket. High ticket requires a bit more sophistication and subtlety and skill. But let's say you have Money Magic Alignment, Wealth Dynamics, and Marketing and Messaging Mastery. So your calendar is filling up with calls. You have 10 to 15 calls a week even. If you don't have the skill to sell them from your heart, standing for what's possible with them, and serving them into deciding and having a clear choice, yes or no, on their destiny as a lighthouse and as a servant of the world. If you don't have the skill of sales, which is really service, which is really an extension and expression of your coaching, then you're going to lose people because you don't have this pillar grounded, right? So these are 4 of the 5 pillars. What about this one? Thoughts become things, not just through manifestation, but through long-term strategic planning and structuring of your behavior and your activity. Success is structural, so that you can create anything that you want so long as you do the right things long enough consistently and put your focus on the right places consistently. So what do lenses do? Lenses turn thoughts into things by focusing you telescopically on 30, 60, 90-day goals and targets, 2, 5, and 10-year visions for your life. Aim at heaven and you'll get earth thrown in. Aim at earth and you'll get neither. The best way to have a $10,000 month is to aim at having a $20,000 month. The best way to get motivated and inspired enough to conquer your 30, 60, 90-day targets is to aim at a 5-year vision that lights you up so fucking intensely that you're like, I am doing that with my life. I can tell you, I have my own 10-year vision, and boy, does it get me up out of bed. Boy, does it inspire and enliven me. Lenses also points to the practice of having your vision, your values, and your zone of genius lined up. You see, in Wealth Dynamics, we find out what makes you different from everyone else. If you try to be a fish climbing a tree, you're judging your performance incorrectly. If you try to be a bird swimming in the sea, and we judge you as a failure on that, well, you were never meant to do that. So what you are meant to do is distinguish your genius, your wealth dynamics profile, your path of least resistance, your flow into wealth. And once we do that, we can get you into flow, because flow comes before resources. I'll say it again. Flow comes before resources. When you are magnetic in your mindset, you also can be magnetic in your action and activity. You ever been in a state of flow where you love engaging in the activity that you're doing just for itself? You're having a blast being in the channel of engaging with people or details or ideas or the soil, the specificity of the person in front of you. Once we figure out what your genius is, you will love getting up and doing all the activities that are necessary for growing your business, both because you can inject them with your values and know and trust that what you're doing is bringing value into the world. The value that I'm enjoying most is fun right now, and flow, and mastery, injecting and mixing these all like a cocktail in service of you through this video, right? On the one hand, and then also I know my zone of genius. I'm a blaze genius. I love engaging with people. One of my wings in wealth dynamics is the star profile. I love showing up, shining, speaking, sharing, and teaching from stages. It's absolutely delicious and delightful, even if no one were to ever see this video. Even if I only had 5 people show up for an event, still, doing the thing is intrinsically rewarding, fulfilling, enlivening, and energizing to me. Imagine being in that kind of flow when you build your business. Lenses help, wealth dynamics help, having all of these skills will help you. And by the way, this is the soul when seen from the eyes of God. You are infinitely valuable as you are. You're whole, perfect, and complete. You are wealthy, abundant, prosperous, and successful. And yet, in order for this soul to bloom and blossom and flourish and flower into the world, you must learn the skills of developing a heart-centered business. Now, I over-delivered a little bit. Some of you may have heard this before, but repetition is the mother of learning. Repetition is the mother of learning. Repetition, finally, is the mother of learning. The more I repeat these pillars, the more likely you are to see that any system that is missing these is not going to get you where you want to go as effectively, to being a badass, heart-centered coach entrepreneur who can change and shift and impact the world super deeply from your heart, from your compassion, from your love. So now we have the structure, the backdrop, the background, the foundation. Let me give you, in the rest of this video, the step-by-step journey and process. And this has been built, I tell you, I suffered stress, struggled, strain, chased eviction notices off my door more than once, and observed dozens of coaches under my care and distinguished through supporting and serving them what were the blind spots, what were the best next steps, and what are the structures that will make you successful. One caveat: every level has its devil. So before I distinguish the different levels of the wealth dynamics and the wealth lighthouse, know that your ego is your glass ceiling. Your identity is your glass ceiling with each of these levels. Because as a successful entrepreneur at each level, you develop a new sense of yourself. But in order to bust past it, we'll have to distinguish blind spots. We'll have to block bust. We'll have to remove barriers to your expression internally and externally, to the force of nature that you are. And finally, we'll have to shift you into a whole new set of behaviors. What got you here won't get you there. Very simple. And if you want to keep doing what you've always been doing, you'll always be who you've always been. But if you are willing to put faith in the possibility of doing things newly and removing whatever resistance there is to doing those new things, then you have the chance to flow into new outcomes and possibilities, which is why part of what I do in my programs is superconscious recodes. We leverage the power of the superconscious mind to remove all resistance, not so that we can fix you or heal you in a perpetual paralysis by sticking my head up my ass thinking there's something wrong with me that I need to fix, chasing one's tail. No, we remove the resistance so that you can get into new actions. New actions and new behaviors lead to a new identity. That new identity will lead you to being and doing in different ways, and you'll engage with the world in different ways. So come along with me. Let's have some fun. I'll show you and I'll share with you what we've got. So this is the path to yellow level. What is yellow level? Let's ask that question. So there's something called the foundation prism inside of Wealth Dynamics. Wealth Dynamics is, again, the map and the compass for your success in business. We all start at infrared level. Infrared is where you're going deeper into debt month by month. You're not even paying your bills effectively and successfully. Red level is where you're just over broke, barely surviving. Most businesses live and die at red level. I'd say 80% of businesses between 2 and 10 years fail and disappear. Why? Because they run out of leads, they run out of cash, they don't have any leverage built. Next, there's orange level, which is the worker. Most of the successful corporate world is at this level. They are putting in more hours and overtime to create more cash flow inside of someone else's business, serving someone else's profit margins, serving someone else's vision and dream rather than their own. Now, inside of entrepreneurship, orange level is actually great because once you achieve that level, you can know and trust that more time and more money invested will generate more cash flow for you. But there's a bottleneck. It requires more time from you being able to expand or scale up. We're not going to go super deep into the shift from orange to yellow beyond the path that I'm going to lay out for you. But I want you to know it requires more than effort. We don't just work smart, we work aligned. And yes, orange level may require you to work hard as well, but we want every step along that path to be high leverage, high impact, high fulfillment, intrinsically motivating and fun. Yellow level, which is the end goal and why I'm teaching you all of this, is the player, it's the virtuoso, it's the concert pianist who is masterful at playing in the orchestra, right? They've picked their spot on the team, they've picked their place in the symphony, and the music they play and the being they possess and the identity they express from allows for people opportunities, synchronicity and serendipity, partnerships and possibilities to flow to them. This is where you've got automated systems and structures built around your zone of genius, a team built around you or beginning to build around you that allows you to turn strangers into leads who buy from you without you lifting a finger, without you having to even be there. Your storm drain is complete at this point. So what you're about to hear is the pathway to make that so in your business. So in the first, if I were to take somebody and give them a business plan for 6 months, like to make them effective and successful, this is what I would do. In the first 2 weeks, and this is assuming you're an effective, successful, well-trained coach. This is assuming that you're able to make a difference for people. This is assuming you've made a difference for some people before. Not that you just did a weekend workshop and you now have a single coaching certification in NLP or whatever system. This is assuming that you're a badass, you're the real deal, you know who you are, and you know who you serve best. Who are you that no one else can be? So one of the biggest questions I receive is, what is my niche? How do I know what my niche is? Well, your niche is the meeting place between your head, your heart, your hand, and the marketplace. Your head, you know a lot about it. Your hand, you're good at it. Your heart, you are inspired to serve in this channel. As I am, my mess has become my message. Not having the tools, trainings, and distinctions that I'm presenting to you now caused me a great deal of suffering. And I'm more than happy to deliver it and gift it in service of you all, shortcutting and streamlining your journey to the same level of success. My mess became my message. Now, your head, heart, hand might all be in perfect, connect the dots constellation, but the marketplace might or might not resonate with it. They might not be calling for it. There might not be a demand for what you have to offer, which is why we start with market research. So for the first 2 weeks, I would clarify your messaging with you and where to get you to find your clear, final, ultimate niche people through 20 market research calls, which can be 20 minutes long. What you do is you ask them, what's your biggest challenge in this area? Health, wealth, happiness, relationships, spiritual connection, purpose, leadership, sex, intimacy, whatever it is. Choose that area. What is your biggest challenge? What's that like for you? What's the impact? What would it be like if you never got support in this? What would it be like if you had everything that you wanted in this area? And ideally, you can leverage my system for 2 weeks to new coaching income and the training and simple scripts and processes to make your first 2 high-ticket sales, if you haven't already, simply by asking and raising the price around the value that you offer, knowing the results you deliver, knowing that you're a badass, knowing that you're the real deal. It's super simple, y'all. And then that begins to generate a reliable system, at least energetically, at least in terms of magnetism and in terms of the actions you already executed for finding more leads so that you can repeat with 1 to 2 sales every 2 weeks. Now, if you're working with me, what I would do is at this point, I would deploy the Wealth Dynamics Accelerator content, which will help you to put together and plant your stake in the ground, having the structure of a yellow level personal brand. If success is structural, personal brand must come before product brand, must come before company brand. It's easier for you to convey who you are to the marketplace if you choose a spot on the team, if you come up with a clear tagline, beautiful banner, beautiful branding, beautiful headshot, and a website to match full on with testimonials from people you've served, that conveys that to the marketplace, world-class professionalism. Once you have that, and Wealth Dynamics Accelerator teaches people how to develop that, then you can move on to the next couple weeks, which are generating a unique messaging ecosystem like the one that I've shown you behind me, and a content calendar or library that you can use and reuse, speaking into the listening of your ideal clients, solving their problems before they even meet you, building know, like, trust, and authority, building the paved road to them seeing you as the only and best solution to their urgent, specific, painful problems. Based on the market research calls that you've had and based on those things that you actually sold, right? One of the biggest massive mistakes that coaches make is they think, oh, I studied this distinction, or I have this tool from this training or this experience that people will resonate with. Like, great, you can share whatever you want on social media. You may get traction, you may not. But what has the most traction is value targeted to solve people's problems before they meet you. Problems that you know about based on listening to your ideal clients. Who are your ideal clients? People who can pay you, who you're excited to work with, pay you high ticket, who are excited to work with you, and you're excited to work with them, who have the problem you can solve. It's another problem that coaches have, that this whole infrastructure, this whole architecture depends on you getting over, which is that you need to choose a niche. It doesn't matter what you choose so much as that you choose, because once you choose, you can build the skill of leveraging all these amazing tactics, tools, and techniques, all these strategies from Wealth Dynamics, etc., to build a brand, to build a business. And you can have as many niches as you want once you've gotten to 6 figures or your ideal target amount of revenue. But you can't get there scaling 25 different niches at the same time, or solving even 3 to 4 different problems at the same time. So that's the value of your unique messaging ecosystem. You know that thing in the middle here, the image of the soul, that is my flag planted. That is my soul's gifts out into the world. I've chosen a spot on the team so people know if they can throw me the ball or not. I've chosen a spot and taken specific territories. So I've built a reputation and people can rely upon me for delivering a certain type of value into the marketplace, rather than being a moving target that everybody is confused by and burning calories just to understand. You see, if we just say we're a theta healer or a life coach, people are like, okay, what makes you different? Can that help me? I don't know. And by the time they figure it out, whether through analyzing your profile and your content or shaking themselves to try to map it out, because of your laziness and not choosing a niche or not choosing a specific elegant BAM statement, I help heart-centered coaches scale to or add 6 figures to their income through fun, flow, and organic marketing and proven badass business models and strategies. That would be my BAM statement. It took less than 20 seconds for me to say, right? If you can get clear on that, then you get to actually create sustainability in your business through having a unique messaging ecosystem, a unique value proposition, and a unique mechanism for delivering results that is different than everybody else out there, right? And then your content calendar, your library is built on real value delivered to the marketplace already that you've proven that they actually give a shit about, they actually resonate with. Remember head, hard hand in the marketplace? The marketplace is a key part of your business. So next, I would give people our Money Magic Alignment 8-week course content to increase their ease and speed of sales and revenue. Why? Because I've seen this even with coaches that I've helped to get to 10K months or 15K months. They hit a glass ceiling, they get triggered, they fall back into old patterns and pathways, and then they suffer from apathy and pain in their nervous system that has not been resolved. We are programmed and domesticated by preachers, teachers, family, friends, media, and government to avoid risk when it comes to entrepreneurship. Get a secure job, stick our head between our legs, up our own ass, and run away from situations that might be difficult. So you have to develop the entrepreneurial mindset of awareness that you are powerfully prosperous and provided for at all times. Hence, Money Magic Alignment, the best tool that I've found based on dancing on and standing on the shoulders of giants in the world of teaching prosperity and abundance and healing and removing resistance from the nervous system. So if it were me working with somebody, this is the next spot that I would go to with them. Excuse me, here we go. Bringing back up. So I would deploy the Money Magic Alignment content. So you've got the masculine side, you've got the feminine side. Next, weeks 6 to 8, start developing a low-ticket tripwire offer and lead magnets to expand your influence and draw in a following organically. You do more of Money Magic Alignment alongside with this. So what is a tripwire offer? It's something that, or a lead magnet, it's something that somebody gets so mouthwateringly excited for. They're like, I have to have this thing of yours because it'll solve a problem of mine and it'll help me without you even meeting me. Or if it's a tripwire offer, it's giving someone that in the form of a masterclass or a video course or whatever that's super cheap, like between $7 and $97, in order to prove to them that they can trust you for value, in order for them to get to know, like, and trust you, in order for them to fall in love with the possibility of receiving more from you, to reward them with spending money on something you have to offer by that spending money actually paying off on something, right? So they spend money and they're like, oh yeah, that helped me. It's a great example for me. 2 years ago now, I spent $37 on this course. I applied the course, I got massive results. So when somebody came back around and said, hey, can I sell you high ticket? I was like, yeah, you know what? Your shit works. So you want to have that impact on somebody. And the only way to have that impact on somebody is to choose a niche, pick a spot on the team, develop what we call a well-built value ladder, a suite of different offers that serve people at different levels and at different times in their customer journey with you. And then like rinse, wash, repeat. So next, you're expanding your influence and drawing in a following. Weeks 9 through 10, you expand into paid premium groups because you have the money to spend on buying low-ticket offers, tripwire offers, and programs from other people's systems where people are being underserved. So or masterminds and communities that people have to pay to get into, because you're not looking for every Tom, Dick, and Harry who can receive value from your problems that you're solving through your programs and your products. You're looking for people who pay and pay high ticket to receive value. And you can identify who those people are after you've had 2 months of at least, a couple sales and you're covering your basic expenses. And then you can spend money on getting into paid premium groups and communities. And after 2 months of at least 5 to 6K per month in sales from weeks 9 through 10, or a month, yeah. And then, sorry, I misread that. So weeks 9 through 10, you're expanding into paid premium groups. You're spending money on those. You're doing 2 months of at least 5 to 6K per month in sales. So that those were these past 2 months. Now you can use a paid following expansion model and system that requires at least $200 to $2,400 per month for you to spend money on. One of my best clients scaled to $24,000 through leveraging someone else's system and putting her content organically on autopilot, which will also involve you vetting and testing and observing this expansion to ensure ongoing stability and consistently. You'll have to develop new habits. You'll have to bust through that glass ceiling I mentioned. And then next, it gets even more exciting. Weeks 13 through 17, expand your income at least to 10K months, if not to much more. So now you've got your own organic strategy. You've got someone else you're paying to expand your organic. And now you can put money into paid ads. Now is the time to put money into paid ads, not first, not when you haven't served or sold a lot of high ticket people. And then you can build your email list, which you should have been building this whole time through having people opt in to a group or some kind of a community, because most people don't buy at the beginning. There's 3% of your audience that's ready to buy high ticket right now. There's like 60 or 70% of your audience that will buy maybe someday in the future if you keep nurturing them and adding value to them. And then there's a certain percent of your audience that will never buy. That's fine. So you build a list, you continue to nurture them, that increases your chances of sales through follow-up. And then paid ads, you're increasing the speed of building a following and moving people directly onto sales calls. The funnels you build will be like this: lead magnet to video sales letter, where you talk about and train people in why they need you, and then you offer them a sales call or a conversation where they can receive value from you further and make a clear final decision about whether or not to pay you to get into a container of yours. Finally, after you've done one-to-one sales enough, you can create a masterclass using a proven format that I teach in my Create Your Masterclass Magic program. You can run traffic to it via both ads and your organic following to fill it up with 20 to 50 ideal leads. And then you can evolve to yellow level by transitioning from the one-to-one to the one-to-many format. So at orange level, you're going to be having 10 to 15 calls on your calendar every week. Sounds like a lot, right? Well, I mean, if you haven't been there, maybe it doesn't sound like a lot because you don't have any sales calls and you're like, that sounds good, let's do that. But once you're there, you'll realize, oh, I'm not leveraging my time the best that I can. So at a very low ticket cost or a no ticket cost, like $0, you have people show up to the masterclass, you make an offer to all of them at once. They all get to know, like, and trust you in a deeper way. And you don't have to hop onto all these sales calls with people. And in that masterclass, you're solving their lowest hanging fruit problem. In fact, your masterclass could be a lead magnet. It could be a tripwire offer. You see how everything is stacking strategically to build a really beautiful business model for you? And you can also make multiple offers at several levels. Some people will buy high ticket from you in a masterclass. Some people will not. So if you make a mid or a low ticket offer at the same time, some people will take the different tiers. And then finally, creme de la creme, the top of building a business and a life that you love, of freedom and abundance, is begin thinking and feeling into automating this funnel once it's proven itself through at least 3 high-level converting events. Meaning you've done the masterclass live several times, you can take the recording where you sold best and most, and then you can go ahead and run traffic to that without you having to be there. So people are now joining your following. They are proving themselves as hyperactive buyers without you having to be in front of them. And they are choosing to get onto your calendar, either having bought high ticket or considering buying high ticket without you having to be there. They're highly qualified. They've had a lot of experience of and exposure to you. It is said that in order for somebody to buy something high ticket, generally speaking, they must have something on the order of 11 hours of content, 7 touch points, and 4 different modes of exposure to you before considering you. Why? Again, because the marketplace has gotten more selective and elite. They're looking for intimacy marketing, not bro marketing where an appointment setter spams them a dozen times through their Facebook Messenger just in the hope that they'll show up to the free masterclass so they can have the opportunity to sell them more. Guess how I know about that model? People do that to me all the time. Finally, and you can fill in the blank with whatever your profile is, right? You'll hire a virtual assistant so that you can step into your profile and your role and just do that. You just show up and do what you most love as a coach. So hopefully this has all made sense to you. Hopefully you've enjoyed this business model. Hopefully your mind has expanded to possibility. Here's my offer, and you'll notice I follow my own processes. If you want more support or to investigate and get clear on your vision, what's in the way, or rather what's on the way to you having a yellow level business like the one that I just pointed to, click the link below to join a call with me. I promise it will be super valuable, super impactful, and super inspiring for you. It would be my honor, pleasure, and privilege to be of service to you and actually have a real one-on-one conversation with you about your business. It serves me, it's market research, helps me understand where people are at, what would resonate most in delivery of more value to people like you. And boy, was it fun making this training? Yes, it was. And you can find your flow like I have as well. So click the link below. I love you so much. Have a beautiful day, week, month, year, afternoon, morning, night. Peace and love, y'all.